Hello everybody and welcome back to Amazing Tech for All. Today we're going to be looking at the Raspberry Pi 5. Now this is a single board computer that has quite a few features that are very useful. So firstly, it comes with two USB 3 ports and two standard USB ports. So that gives quite a bit of power and speed onto your USB. Then it comes with a gig Ethernet port. That is also very good because now the Raspberry Pi 5 can actually be used for something like a server. Secondly, it now has, unlike the previous versions of the Raspberry Pi, we have two micro HDMI ports and one USB-C power port. This can be powered through a standard USB-C, but preferably with USB-C port or power supply. But the preference is really to use the standard Raspberry Pi power supply, because otherwise it gives you an error of the low voltage. So here in this case we have a little fan over the processor that does the active cooling. So instead of using passive cooling with just a large heatsink, which is currently present on this board, you will see that we have a little fan to do the active cooling. So the operating system for this will run on a SD card here, and currently it's a micro SD card and it's a 32 gig SD card that we're using. I have got a little this board came with a kit, and the kit had a cover for the Pi. So we're going to assemble that and then we'll continue on with the process, with the evaluation. Okay, so now you can see the Raspberry Pi in its new cover. This is very useful because it will protect the Raspberry Pi from dust. We will power it up in the next few seconds so we can see the operating system that's already running now. This package came with a pre-installed version of Raspbian, which is a Linux operating system that has been optimized to run on the Raspberry Pi. So now I've attached the Raspberry Pi to the screen and added two USB devices. One of them is connected for the mouse and the other for keyboard, and I'm about to turn on the Raspberry Pi. So here we are applying the power. Let's see what happens when it's powering up. Okay, so a few lights will come on here in the back. You'll see a little green light flashing, and then we expect the operating system to start playing on the screen. There we go. So the Raspberry Pi operating system is starting now, and we'll see it go through its own self-test and starting of services. This is quite exciting, really. So on first installation, you'll be asked to do to create an account, to log in, and with that account you'll then be able to do all administrative tasks, which includes things like setting your region and your keyboard, etc. So now that we have a keyboard and a mouse attached to it, we can see what does the Raspberry Pi come with. So standard, it comes with a terminal which will allow you to run commands, and then you'll be able to access a browser. Now I've already used this Raspberry Pi before, this operating system that is sitting on this SD card. So I've used this one quite extensively, and the plan is to start doing video editing and so on this machine. So if I go to YouTube, for example, you will see that it will be able to access YouTube quite happily. We'll be able to go to, you'll see it has the ability to connect to a Wi-Fi here in my case, and there's volume control over here and Bluetooth devices, so you'll be able to control microphones, etc. If you go onto the menu has got quite an extensive set of programming tools. Office tools like LibreOffice comes standard with it. I've added a few additional internet things like Chromium browsers already there. I use the Remina for remote controlling to Windows machines. And then the sound and video, I've added KDN Live video editing tool, OBS, which is what I use to actually do the recording on this one. And then there's a bunch of graphic tools. In fact, I haven't installed any graphics tools. And here we'll find things like a tool for which you can add and remove software, and then the Raspberry Pi configuration tool. This is very useful if you want to make changes to your Raspberry Pi, its appearance and its behavior. Then I also have I always install the Synaptic Package Manager, which is the traditional way of installing software through old versions of Debian and Ubuntu. Anyway, so let's see, what can we find here? If we go in into a new browser window, let's just do that, the private, and let's just say, let's go to YouTube. We just find the right keyboard to use. Okay. And as per my previous videos, you'll see, well, we can actually go to my channel. Let's just go to the channel that we use here. We'll go to view my channel itself. And there we go. And you'll see that the experience is very much like that of using a PC. It's not a bad way to go, and in fact it actually performs really well as a desktop computer. There may be not enough resources in order to do serious things like video editing or processing, but it seems to be pulling its weight. So let's just see one little test. Let's see how much memory this one comes with. I think it's 8 gigs, and the command is free. I think it's -H for human readable. And yes, it comes with 8 gigs of RAM, as you'll be able to see there. And currently in use is 2 gigs. So that is the easy way to find out how much memory you have available on a Raspberry Pi /Linux environment. Thank you for watching this video, and for future reference, you're welcome to join this channel, and we'll see you next time.